Union Home Minister Amit Shah called for Hindi to replace English as an alternative language in India. Well, I don't understand why this opposition to English. Well, it's not nationalism, it's not patriotism. So in the age of globalization, today English still remains, and English remains, not still, the language of global commerce. It is the language of global communication. So it is the language of global knowledge. If you really want to know about something, well, you will only get it in English. Even countries like China, which earlier had some conservative approach towards English, is now importing English in a very big way. In fact, the English-speaking abilities and conversant with English help large number of Telugus to get jobs in the lucrative information technology sector. Look at the IT sector in the United States. Telugus constitute a major segment. It is often told that Telugu is the second language in the Silicon Valley of the world. Thus, the reason for this is we have a better understanding of English, so our youth are conversant with English, and this helped a large number of Telugu-speaking children to dominate in the information technology space globally and especially in the United States. And this has revolutionized the lives of thousands of ordinary Indian families, especially the middle class families in both the Telugu speaking states. So can we deny the fact this? In fact, why are Gujaratis, Bengalis, Malayalis are lagging behind Telugu people in the IT sector? It is precisely because of their loyal familiarity with English. Today the Amit Shah says, we will replace English with Hindi. Why do you need to replace? Language is a means of communication. If somebody really needs Hindi, he will learn. Somebody who really needs English, let he or she learn. Why this discrimination against language? English is no longer a foreign language in India. Perhaps there are equally great number of English-speaking people in India. So when you consider English as a foreign language, then the entire problem comes. So this kind of an approach is not just unscientific, but it militates against the interest of the aspiring Indian middle class. I don't know why I'm shutting. The other problem of this is, well, Hindi is sought to be placed above all the other Indian languages. So Amit Shah says, when citizens of two states interact, they should interact in Hindi. Who is Amit Shah to tell me in what language should I interact with my fellow Kannadigas or Tamilians or Malayalis? So who is Amit Shah to tell us what language should we speak? If Amit Shah decides what should we eat, what should we speak, how should we dress, then is this a democracy? I don't understand why do we need to create such a regimented society. So let the people have freedom to have their own language. And especially English is made mandatory in the northeastern states up to 10th class. Already several groups and parties are opposing the government of India move. So now and it is illogical also. English is one among several Indian national languages. Amit Shah says Hindi is the Indian national language. He doesn't realize the fact that the 8th schedule of the Constitution lists 22 languages, not just Hindi. So this is nothing but an attempt to impose Hindi on other Indian languages. So the argument often given is, well, learning Hindi will foster national unity. Well, I do agree. We need to foster national unity. Well, if Hindi is taught and learned in South India, it will foster national unity. Why can't Hindi-speaking states make their citizens to learn at least one of the South Indian languages? Why should Hindi-speaking people not learn some other language other than Hindi? Well, they don't want to learn. If Hindi-speaking states promote Telugu or Tamil or Malayalam, will it not contribute to the national unity? So national unity will be achieved only when we accept the supremacy of Hindi. So this Hindi supremacist approach is an attempt to enforce North Indian political and social and cultural domination over the South India. And this can never be acceptable. We should understand the difference between uniformity and unity. So uniformity is not the solution. We need unity. So if we want to create an artificial uniformity, it doesn't foster unity. It only fosters division in society. Obviously, I am a proud Telugu speaking person and I love to learn Hindi. But when Hindi is thought to be placed above my mother tongue Telugu, obviously my linguistic sentiment will be hurt. So that's precisely what has happened in the past when Tamil speaking people were up in arms against the imposition of Hindi. So why this sudden increase? In fact, I'll give you one example. So Tarun Vijay, a prominent BJP leader and one of the ideologues, has once said, he described South Indians as blacks and he said, look at our, we are living together with Tamilians, Malayalis, Telugus. We don't differentiate against blacks. This is the language which is used by Tarun Vijay. You can simply quote type in Google Tarun Vijay comments on South India. You will know that. This kind of a racist attitude is embedded in an attempt to impose Hindi. So the South Indians are seen as inferior Indians, and the people who speak other languages other than Hindi are seen as inferior Indians. Well, already there is an attempt to divide the country on the religious lines. Non-Hindus are considered as inferior by this set of ideologically oriented people. And now they don't confine to the religion. They want to also create an impression that Hindi is the Atma, in fact, Hindi is the language of the India and all other Indian languages should be subservient to Hindi. So he says, Amit Shah says, Hindi is the national language. I once again tell Amit Shah that there is nothing like the national language. We have many national languages, 22 national languages. Well, earlier Amit Shah said Hindi is Atma. If Hindi becomes Atma, what about Telugu? So will it become Pratatma? So I can't understand what is this concept of Atma. The real soul, the true soul of India is the linguistic diversity, cultural diversity, religious diversity, diversity of traditions, customs, beliefs, faith, food habits, etc., etc. So we celebrate unity in diversity. Any attempt to enforce uniformity in the name of unity will be detrimental to India's unity and integrity. It will only result in a sense of alienation among Indians who speak different languages other than Hindi.